This word leadership is used, but there are no real leaders here because realistically, where are they leading people to? They're realistically, basically almost everybody's been bought off. They're leading everybody to a demise. Is that a real leader? And the change idea, let's use Obama as an example. And they've used these ideas before. And for those that saw the marketing ploy of the regime that controls the United States, he used the ideas of change and hope. Okay, so yes, people resist change. I get it. But at the same time, they want it or they don't want it. It's a love-hate relationship. I see how that is. Because even when things aren't working or a benefit, they're still emotionally attached to the routines that they've decided. And they will even reinforce that with things like, well, my mom used to tell me this, or this is traditional. We've always done it this way. It's been done for hundreds and thousands of years, or, et cetera. So again, the traditional idea. So people try and glue it together with other ideas to make it stick, whatever. And they're just ideas, sound good ideas. And people will even get emotional and start wars, get their neighbors and everything, and possibly get you out of the house and burn down your house just to get rid of you because you don't agree to their distortion. So, and then again, Obama ran on the change idea. You see, the world controllers, the elites, the cabal, they're very clever. They have a lot of fun at this. And so I remember seeing, they would pan the audience when Obama would talk, and especially the extra tan people in the United States would, they'd even be crying in the audience at times because they thought, oh, this is almost like their savior, this man, and how he talks, how elegantly he talks. And keep in mind, he's been rehearsed for many, many decades to do this, to get up on the world stage and to present this. It took a lot of rehearsing for him to get it to a particular, so that when he spoke, he got people to agree. And so all politicians go through this. They've got to go through a lot. Politicians have to prove themselves, and so Obama went through the same thing at a very young age. And so blatantly did things right out there that people knew about, but still was there. And so he ran on the idea of change. In other words, the way that he said it, but he really didn't define it. Okay, they really don't overall define it. They do, but they don't. And that is that the change that occurred under his administration, which not everybody saw, was a lot worse. He created wars, he destroyed people, etc., because that's the agenda. It only gets worse. And so with the present so-called president and then the ones in the future coming, it will only get worse. This is the whole idea, but they will still use their marketing ploy. So it's not a matter of change. This is a ploy, again, that people have been indoctrinated with, have grown up with. This is the educational system. Look at the Indians, how they were raised. Okay, did the Indians get together and have powwows and say, oh, gee, okay, we're going to change the world. We're going to change the environment here because, you know what, it's not quite what we like. We want it different. Did they do that? No, they didn't do that. They didn't imply any change at all because they were using their instinct, their intuitive nature, and gaining insight to what was already taking place with life the best they could. You see how that makes sense? As opposed to, oh, let's just get up and let's just change everything, okay? Let's put these 10 teepees in a row over here and the 10 over here in a row here, and let's mow down this group of trees and let's build a road, okay? And so, no, they didn't do that. No, this is where the industrial consciousness came to the United States because they got the little pilgrims and everybody to agree to, oh, you want freedom and you want freedom religion and that? Okay, we got a new plot of ground for you to go on. And so you just go over there. But in the meantime, if there's any interference, just kind of push that back, get rid of them. You may meet some hostiles over there. They look friendly at first, but you know what? They're not that. Just push them back and put them in cages or on reservations. You see, again, the agenda, the premeditated, planned agenda of this place. And here we are a couple hundred years later, say 300 years, here it is. We're in it. We're in the middle of it. And we've partly agreed to this, we or wholeheartedly, etc. And that's all fine too. So there has been a change. You're living it. Is it a good change? Is it better? Has it created a benefit? No, it's a lot worse, isn't it? So much for change. And so this idea, like hope, faith, and belief, in other words, Obama ran on hope too. In other words, everybody's hoping it will get better. In other words, I've written so many times on this, and I will refer to it again. These are maybes. Maybe it'll get better. Things are only going to be better when the individual decides so within themselves. Doesn't mean you're going to change the world. We're not here to change the world. And again, we use this idea, oh, you're a wonderful person and you have these great ideas. Oh, you're going to change the world. That's not the idea. The phrases that people use in their own way are actually abrasive, but they don't see it. And it's that I believe in this or I believe in that. That goes nowhere. It's a matter of demonstrating and what you're doing. And so again, the leadership idea and the change idea, we'll go with that. You started off on that. Yes, is it there? Does it make sense? No, it's not even close. It's marketing ploy. So again, the reason that people don't want change is because for the most part, they do or they don't. Yeah, they want to change if it's to their advantage in their personal sense. But if it's not, okay, then they don't want the change. They want to stick with their same routines. And again, we came here to recognize the isness. Here's the opportunity, but who will stand up and have the courage to, contribute something that makes sense, not just ideas that sound good. So again, so what do people do for the most part? Because the fear factor is the basis of all the systems that have been created here. That wasn't the basis with the Indians. Yes, people, the kids might have been afraid. It's like, oh, they got to swim across the river, as a test. So that can be fearful. All right, that's one thing. But that fear, there wasn't fear produced because of it. That becomes the difference. These systems are all fear-based. It's taken a lot of lifetimes for all of us to get here, to be programmed enough to agree to the system. It takes a lot of lifetimes. It takes a lot to make a person evil. This is where when, supposedly the evil guys are gotten rid of, they're not. Adolf Hitler never blew up in the bunker. Hey, they know it takes a lot to get people to be evil, just like Charles Manson or whatever that's been prisoner for 50 years or what have you. They don't want to get rid of these people. And even if they do, it's usually a ploy they're really not getting rid of. They just place them somewhere else so they can keep doing their evil thing and be controlled by the big evil guys, you see? So again, look to the real side. But I don't use this leadership word or leadership with any of these things of these people because, again, I see a leader like the new leaders leading people to the isness life is, not some place in creation that you have to deal with, and there's more distortion. Even the happy hunting grounds you got to deal with, and most people get bored there, so they come back here because they haven't recognized the is. Once you do, this starts to take care of everything because it's endless. But again, so much for change and whatever, we're dealing with it here, but it is not what people think it is. It never